The Journey of Faith, a story of humanity and religion, part Dawn of Faith. Long before cities rose and kings ruled the lands, humans wandered across vast plains, climbed mountains, and followed rivers that glimmered like liquid silver beneath the sun. Their eyes turned skyward to stars that seemed to speak in whispers, their hearts trembled at the roar of thunder, and their souls reached out to the wind that caressed the grasses and forests alike. In these earliest days, humans began to wonder, why are we here? Who moves the sun, the moon, the rivers? Why do we live and why do we die? From these questions emerged the first stirrings of faith, a quiet, trembling reverence for forces greater than themselves. They offered prayers to the sky, to the rivers, and to the fire that warmed their hearths. They carved images of animals, humans, and the unseen spirits of the world into stone and wood, believing that all living things carried a spark of sacredness. In these moments, humanity learned the first truth of religion, that life was both a mystery to honor and a gift to cherish. Around crackling fires, elders shared stories that blended wonder and wisdom. A young child might hear of a river spirit who blessed the fisherman, or a star who guided the lost traveler. Each tale carried a lesson, a moral, or a way of seeing the world through eyes of awe and reverence. In this way, even before temples or scrolls, the heart of humanity was already seeking, already listening, already praying. Part 2. Civilizations and Sacred Traditions. As centuries passed, humans built cities, palaces, and temples. In Egypt, golden pyramids reached toward the sky, and priests tended to rituals honoring gods of the sun, the sky, and the underworld. In Mesopotamia, ziggurats rose above the plains, and people offered grain, prayers, and incense to deities who governed life, death, and the fortunes of kings. The stories became more intricate, filled with heroes, trials, and divine lessons. Humans discovered that through ritual, song, and sacrifice, they could feel a connection to powers beyond themselves. They learned to celebrate life, mourn loss, and mark the passing of time with sacred ceremonies. Every culture added its voice to the growing tapestry of faith. In the Indus Valley, sacred rivers became sites of devotion, rituals of purification, and celebrations of life's cycles. In China, ancestors were honored and teachings of harmony and virtue guided daily life. Even in the far reaches of the earth, in mountains and forests, humans observed patterns in nature and attributed sacred meaning to the movements of animals, the changing seasons, and the rise of the sun. It was here, in the cradle of civilization, that religion became a language of the heart, a way to understand suffering, joy, life, and death, and to reach for a truth greater than mere survival. Part 3. The Age of Prophets. With time, certain humans emerged whose hearts carried an unusual clarity and courage. They walked among people and spoke words that would echo across centuries. Abraham in the lands of Canaan heard the call of one God and followed a path that would change the destiny of countless souls. Moses led his people through the wilderness, teaching laws of justice, compassion, and devotion. Zoroaster in Persia spoke of the eternal struggle between truth and deceit, light and darkness, guiding humanity toward moral discernment. These prophets, teachers, and seers understood that faith is not just ritual, it is a way of living, a calling to ethical action, to care for the vulnerable, and to cultivate a heart that aligns with the sacred. Through their lives, the seeds of monotheism, ethical codes, and personal responsibility took root, forming the foundation for religions that would shape empires, families, and hearts alike. Their stories were not simply lessons, they were invitations to participate in a world where love, justice, and courage were sacred acts. People listened, learned, and carried these teachings in their hearts, passing them from generation to generation. Part 4. Eastern Wisdom. In the lands of India and East Asia, faith took forms both philosophical and practical. Hinduism arose with its profound sense of the divine in all things, teaching that life is a journey of the soul and that dharma, righteous living, guides one toward ultimate truth. Siddhartha Gautama, a prince born in Lumbini, left the comforts of his palace to confront suffering and discover the path to awakening. Beneath the Bodhi tree, he attained enlightenment, becoming the Buddha, the awakened one. His teachings of the middle way, compassion, and mindfulness offered a path to inner freedom. In China, Laozi wrote the Tao Te Ching, sharing insights on harmony with the Tao, the natural order of life. Confucius taught virtue, ethics, and the importance of social responsibility, guiding families and societies toward balance and justice. In Japan, Shinto flourished, revering nature, ancestors, and the sacred presence in all life. These traditions, diverse yet interconnected, emphasize that spirituality is not only belief but practice, reflection, and understanding, guiding humans to live in harmony with themselves, their communities, and the world around them. Part 5. Christianity and Islam. From the deserts and hills of the Middle East, two transformative faiths arose that would spread across continents. Christianity began with Jesus of Nazareth, a teacher of love, mercy, and compassion, who spoke of the kingdom of God and lived a life of service. His followers recorded his teachings, spread his message, and formed communities of devotion, worship, and care for the poor and suffering. Centuries later, Muhammad in Mecca received revelation that emphasized submission to one God, compassion for all beings, and the moral responsibility of each human. Islam rapidly grew across deserts, cities, and oceans, uniting people through faith, prayer, and a vision of ethical living. Both traditions highlighted the transformative power of love, community, and devotion. Through miracles, teachings, and lives lived in service, humanity discovered that faith could not only explain the mysteries of existence, but inspire action that brings light to the world. Part 6. Middle Ages and Spiritual Expansion. In medieval times, monasteries rose in forests and hills, where monks and nuns devoted their lives to prayer, meditation, and service. Pilgrimages carried millions across deserts, mountains, and seas, as humans sought sacred experiences and deeper understanding. Mystics in Europe, Sufi saints in Persia, and wandering yogis in India all illuminated the world with devotion, insight, and compassion. Religions spread through trade, travel, and sometimes conquest. Yet even amid conflict, ideas traveled across borders, merging cultures and inspiring new perspectives. Humanity learned that faith could unite, guide, and challenge, that devotion was not static but dynamic, and that spiritual insight was a treasure to share, not hoard. Part 7. Modern religious movements. In more recent centuries, humanity witnessed both reformations and innovations in faith. Martin Luther and others sparked a movement to return to spiritual integrity. Across the globe, meditation, mindfulness, and interfaith dialogue emerged, offering ways to connect with the sacred beyond ritual or institution. Modern humans continue to seek meaning, peace, and purpose. Ancient wisdom finds new expression in meditation retreats, spiritual communities, and the simple act of living ethically and compassionately. Technology allows the teachings of faith to reach millions, spreading messages of hope, morality, and love into the farthest corners of the earth. Part 8. Timeless lessons and reflection. Through the span of history, faith has always served as a mirror and a guide. It mirrors human longing for meaning, justice, and connection, and it guides humanity toward acts of compassion, courage, and devotion. Despite diverse forms, cultures, and languages, the threads of belief are universal. Awe at the mystery of life, reverence for what is sacred, ethical responsibility, and the search for inner peace. The story of religion is the story of humanity itself, a journey of discovery, struggle, insight, and love. It reminds us that while the ways of faith may differ, the heart's desire is the same: to understand, to connect, and to live with purpose. From the first sparks of wonder in prehistoric plains to the towering temples, sacred texts, and meditative practices of today, the human heart has always reached toward the divine. And so the journey continues, inviting each of us to walk the path of faith with curiosity, humility, and reverence. The end.